we are climbing mountains, literally. Not just in life, but physical mountains that manifest around us. And when it comes to mountains, it's not just the physical. It's also the spiritual and the mental and the things that are unseen. We talked a lot about the grapefruit tree growing down into the earth and up into the sky. Thinking about that tree and how giving it is, I'm thinking about knowledge and wisdom and the way that we process information, and especially in a world where we can scroll through all day and not get an ounce of value added to our lives. And so I am fascinated about books. Sometimes I'm hard on myself because I don't feel like I can read all the way through to the end, but there are more ways than one to consume books. So today we have a wonderful guest, Jeremy. Please join me.
Hi, thank you.
Can you talk about, well, first of all, just say hi.
Hi. Hello. I'm so happy to take you up on this hike.
Yes.
These are mountains that Jessica and I have been looking at from my house for the last week. So how nice to get to climb up them a bit and venture into them, right?
I was telling Jeremy in the car on the way up here that something that is incredibly powerful is that I was nervous about climbing a mountain because I've never done that before and I don't know what that means or what it takes. And then I realized, I don't have to do it myself. I can rely on others. I can allow others to help me get up the mountain. And I'm grateful for that. So,
Yes.
can you talk about books? Because we went to grad school together.
We did.
I was actor, director, right? Actor, director.
Yes.
And so, how are you consuming so many books?
Yeah, I read about 100 books a year, at least 100 books a year. I listen to them as I really enjoy the format of audiobooks for a number of reasons. Actually, I find my imagination is able to be more vivid. I can paint more pictures when I listen because my mind is doing one thing. I'm not also reading. I don't know. I feel like my mind takes up space to read.
Yeah.
But when I'm listening, it's like it's just filling me and I don't have
Wow.
I don't know, I'm able to paint better pictures. I do think one of the tricks is listening at the speed of thought because often they are very slow in audiobooks and
Speed it up.
yeah, speed it up. Yeah. So I listen at like 1.2 or 1.25 usually. I determine it based on the how
Speech
I'm
of the
listening.
okay.
Yeah, the speech of the person. I try to listen and find if my thoughts wander in between a sentence or in between words even, then I'm not listening to it fast enough. So I speed it up.
Okay.
But I find that I'm able to do so many other activities. And there's this concept of stacking habits that's about like putting multiple positive habits together. So when you do one, you do another. So
Okay.
hiking is like that for me. There's multiple stacked habits in hiking, but it's like when I hike, I listen to a book. And so I'm doing multiple things that I enjoy and make me feel good. But then I'm terrible, which you've probably seen a little bit about, like cleaning my kitchen, So I always do it while listening to a book because it's like it helps the work go by faster,
Okay.
When I'm driving, sometimes I listen to music if it's a short drive, but on longer drives.
I find this to be a challenge with me when selecting music. So how are you choosing what book you're going to listen to? Because that's time invested from your life to do that, to listen to that thing.
Yeah.
Do you finish it all the way through?
Not always. Not
Okay.
always. If after an hour and a half, let's say, of an 8-hour book, so that's about a quarter of the book, I'm like recognizing I'm not into it, I'll put it down. I've picked books back up, though, where I was like, maybe this just wasn't right for the moment. How do I choose? Man, a number of different ways. I mean, I've been influenced by, I like classics, so I'll listen to a classic. Then if I like one of those from some author, then I'm like, I better listen to multiple from this author. I've been to really like Agatha Christie, who's like a mystery writer. And like, it's just so pop kind of shit. It's like fun and intrigue. But whenever I'm like needing a break from something or like I just want to be entertained
Yeah.
by a book, I'll listen to her, and I probably listen to like 10 of her books or something now. So that's one
Incredible.
way. Cultural too. I mean, my own culture, but
Yeah.
others' cultures too. Like
Yeah.
Black History Month,
Yeah.
often I'll listen to a bunch of, black fiction,
Yeah.
African American
Yeah.
fiction. Um, yeah, and I've let other, like Asian American Month, I've let
Yeah.
hit me in that way too, and others. Uh, Friends recommendations, I try to, see what my friends have read or have listened to.
What's something you looking forward to reading or listening to coming up?
Well, I am listening to the Count of Monte Cristo, right? That's what it's called. But it's a very long, it's over 40-hour book, so it must be like thousands of pages.
Whoa.
And it's really good, but I am kind of like putting it down and picking it back up, and I don't know, 10 hours in.
Wow.
So that's one
30 more to go.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a book that I started, Master Slave Mr. Wife, is it called? But I do stuff through Libby,
Yeah.
which is a library app, so I only have them for 21 days. So if I don't
Oh,
finish,
okay.
then it goes back, and if it's a popular book, I have to wait to kind of rent it again.
Yeah.
And so that's what's happened with this book, and I was like into it, and it's a historical fiction, and it is a man and a woman, and they're a married couple back in the time of slavery, and like she's like 1/8 black, I think, so she appears to be white, and so she's pretending to be a man,
Oh.
and he is her slave, and this is how they're making their getaway from the south to the north.
Interesting.
And it's an actual story, it's a real story, and then this author fictionized it.
Yeah.
In part.
Yeah.
It was a book from last year that was on the New York Times like top 10, I think.
Wow.
And so that's how I picked that one up. So
Yeah.
that's one I'm excited to finish too. Yeah.
Dude, that's really inspiring, and I look forward to hearing more about books and also reading more books myself. Thank you for bringing me to the mountain. I'm very
pleasure.
grateful, and we look forward to more adventures. Okay?
All
We're
right.
going to exit the scene. Enjoy the view.
Bye. Enjoy.